let's dig into some news from the week. There was an Apple event, and
more green stuff. There you go.
They announced some new processors, and what else did they announce?
Some updates to like iOS.
Yeah, it was mainly just updates.
People were excited that they can like customize their lock screen.
Yeah.
It's weird to see Apple fans get excited about certain things. There's certain things I'm just like, you couldn't do that? I'm more surprised about the fact that you couldn't do that till now.
Customize their locks? What?
Yeah, so you can do some stuff on your locks.
Oh, was that what JoJo was referring to? Whenever
Yeah.
It's a super innovative thing. I don't know if
innovative.
I mean,
super innovative.
They really
how
just
that front
they keep just
looks.
breaking out of the
keep
box.
using that word. Don't think it means what you think it means. Just saying.
it's they like that
I'm trying to
word.
remember what else there was.
I don't even remember. I was halfway paying attention.
There's some cool stuff with iPad OS that did catch my attention.
Yeah.
There's one cool trick with the camera. I think I wrote an article about that one.
Did they
there
rename
was Stage
iPad
Manager.
OS?
They spent a lot of time.
That's the coolest thing they could do with it.
No.
Would be to rename it.
But yeah, what is it?
Stage Manager.
Stage Manager. So it's a different overview mode basically. It's another thing I really hope Google's like, ooh, that's cool. Let's do that for Chromebooks, since they keep Chromebooks keep getting these new features with overview mode and your virtual desks and stuff.
Yeah,
it would be in that vein. But the idea of Stage Manager is when you I don't even know how you get to it. Maybe it's a 3-finger swipe up. Maybe I'm not sure. But once you enter that mode, basically your groups of windows that I guess that you would have like in multiple desktops, you see them kind of clumped over here. And so you can drag things in and out of them, but then just click on that clump. So like sometimes it's not always clear what's in what desk. Like I set my desk up the same way every time, so I kind of know I need to go to desk 3 or desk 4. This would kind of keep them over in a small area on the left side, and then it'll allow you to click in that, and it'll just bring those windows into view. When they showed it, I was like, yeah, that actually looks like it could be pretty productive on a big enough screen.
Yeah, for sure.
I think on a smaller screen, I'm not sure.
Get a little crowded.
They announced it. They're going to do that for iPad OS, and so that's going to be basically the way that they'll get multi-window iPad OS support. So instead of just split screen with that one thing that floats over the edge, now you've got this. What is it again? I keep wanting to say
Stage Manager. Stage.
They're not that far behind.
I like Stagecoach better.
It's almost start calling it. That's just what I'm going to call
Stage
it.
hand.
No, Gabe has to do the whip every time you say it.
Yes.
Like the Friends episode. He's like, whapa! What does that sound?
Is that?
Like the whip. Whapa! You mean like, whoosh? Isn't that what I was doing? No. Anyway, so it's the same idea for iPad as well. They showed like resizable windows, but it all has to run through this Stage Manager thing. So it's not just straight up hook a keyboard in and you get window support. It's kind of goes through the Stage Manager thing, but it's another big step for them to move to. Like when they brought up Stage Manager on the iPad, I was like, this looks like a lot more like Mac OS than it ever has. Like it really has a Mac OS feel. And then they also showed that they finally, you got an M1 chip in these iPads. I mean, come on. They finally have proper external monitor support. But knowing Apple, it'll be like, only supports 1080p.
Or
something
only
dumb.
The $6,000 monitor.
Only the Apple monitor.
It only works with
thing
that.
is.
What is the name of that monitor? I mean, I've seen videos of.
You don't know? I see you. Your hands are on the keyboard. You don't know.
It's too expensive to know.
Yeah,
it's dumb.
I've never even considered buying it.
It's dumb.
Like, come on. Is it Pro Display? I think it might just be called Pro
Studio Display.
Studio Display.
Oh, that's the cheap one. But then they have that's the cheap one that's the same price as the MacBook Pro.
Right, 3,000 or something.
Yeah.
Which
and it has a processor in it too. Like it's got an actual mobile processor.
Pro Display is the big one.
Pro Display.
Yeah.
Like I've geeked out a few times and looked at some of these like color grading monitors that like movie studios buy, and they're very, very, very expensive, like more expensive than these. So that was the argument. Like whenever I saw I think it was Jonathan Morrison or somebody, whenever this first came out, was like talking about why it costs this much and the tech that's in there and why it's, why they're so expensive. This isn't for the average person to go buy. But yeah, that would be something they'd be like, yeah, this thing works, but only on our monitors. Only on our monitors.
And if not, it's only 720p. Sorry.
Yeah. But you have to have this $100 cable to connect it.
Yeah.
Not to brag, but they have a 60 hertz refresh rate.
Woo. Whoa.
Wow.
There's
super smooth.
I don't think there are any other numbers above that, right?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think
No.
so. 60? Yeah.
Oh, 60.
Yeah.
Does that make you feel better about yourself if I tell you yes?
I mean, a little bit.
Okay. Yes, then 60 is the size it goes, for sure.
Neat.
Then when they come up with the 90 or whatever,
So
they'll be like,
how old's my
The
monitor on my
first-
desk? I bought that, 5 years ago?
Yeah.
75 hertz?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
My
think
big
mine's-
ultra wide is 60 hertz.
It is. But it's still
they
really nice.
They make a 90 hertz version, and I want it, but it literally is the exact same monitor with 90 hertz
Yeah.
refresh.
And then I thought it has USB-C too.
Yeah, it does have one USB-C
Yeah.
port, but I'm like,
Whoop-de-doo.
Yeah.
it
who
wouldn't
cares?
be. It's not enough for me to really go
Yeah.
spend another $600.
What else did they announce, Andy Cam? What was there anything else from?
I didn't
the
pay
event?
attention at all to the iPhone stuff.
I didn't either.
Yeah, I mean, that was the biggest thing is iOS 16.
Yeah, and then
iPad OS 16,
and then the new-
WatchOS 9.
and the new Macs with the new
yeah,
processor.
I didn't pay attention to the watch stuff either.
So new Air and then a new MacBook Pro
Right.
with the M2.
M2 and the Air does too. And the best part, like we noticed this when they pulled it back and showed the portfolio. The new MacBook Air is the only MacBook without the little goofy notch up
Right.
top now.
Yeah.
No, it's the new Pro.
The
was
MacBook Pro.
only
Yeah,
one.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Silly.
Like, ooh, wait, now what? Like, I could see maybe if the Air didn't,
Sure.
if they were just, but they put the Retina display in the Air this time, right?
Yeah. And the new Pro still has the touch bar.
Oh, that's right. I'm
Oh,
telling you, it's like
really?
it's like a
They
recycled chassis.
literally used
Yeah.
an old chassis and put this M2
but it's
in
their
it.
latest MacBook Pro. Like,
Yeah.
it's super weird.
And
to
you're
me.
putting Pro on it. So like this is a device
mine
for
doesn't
a
have it.
Okay.
somebody who is a creator or something to
Right.
go buy. And
Bizarro Town.
does it have an SD?
It's got the
SD.
ports. Like it's got the latest Pro ports, right? I'm pretty sure.
I don't
that
know.
one.
I thought it did. I thought
Look it
somebody.
up.
I thought I saw
Did
somebody
not.
tweet because they were like, "Yeah, it's got this."
Yeah.
And the tweet that I saw after that was like, "Yeah, but by the way, this Pro device only displays one external monitor still. One external monitor.
Yeah,
that
it's
I'm going to
Pro.
write a piece before
It's
you all
Pro,
hear
man.
this. Before you hear this, I'm going to write a piece that is totally trashing on Apple for this because that.
Oh yeah, I
500
forgot we're recording on Wednesday.
Yeah, that $550 Acer Chromebook Spin 513 that I'm trusting right now that weighs about the same as the MacBook Pro, 2.7 pounds or something like that, is a nice aluminum chassis, has probably arguably a similarly good display. It's a Quad HD, IPS, 400 nit, full 100% RGB gamut.
I didn't think it had the ports.
It doesn't have this.
Nor does it have MagSafe.
Wow.
Yikes.
Oof. What?
So
in the
does it
world?
have a?
It's
Does
really just using. So it's got two USB-C and a headphone jack.
yeah. Yeah. So it is the old. It's
Yeah,
like the old
100%.
16-inch that, or the
M1
old.
Pro, the M1 MacBook Pro, right? That's what the
The
M1.
Yeah,
M1 MacBook Pro, not the M1 Pro or M1 Max.
Yeah.
Super,
Right.
super
Yeah.
convenient naming.
Super simple. The original
mean-
MacBook Pro that came with the M1 chip, the
Yes.
first one. It's
Yeah.
like it's basically that with
Yeah.
a new chip in it.
Yeah.
But my trash on Apple will be, I just tested before we walked in here, that ARM powered $500-ish Chromebook
Yeah.
will pushed its own Quad HD display. It pushed my ultra wide Quad HD display. Granted, it stretched it because it wasn't doing the extra pixels, and Joe's Quad HD display all at once in a $549 device.
Yeah. So it's not that this chip can't do it. It's just Apple has decided to not
Yeah.
allow it to.
There's
do it.
no reason that would be a
And it's
limitation
Pro,
of
and
that
it's
device.
A Pro device.
And we know it
Pro.
from, we had the Mac Mini that with the same chip in it. And I don't know that we ever ran multiple displays off of or needed to, but you can't tell me a device with that much power can't push two displays.
Yeah.
Or three, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Because it says it can do two. So the internal display plus one.
Internal plus. Yeah.
But I'm like, that's a limitation of like $250 Chromebooks. I get that their chip can't do it. That's what they do. So some of these tablets we've got, they'll do a couple 1080p screens, but they won't do like if you get into Quad HD and 4K. Like, but that technically speaking, from MediaTek, the Spin 513 with the Companion 1380 will do its internal Quad HD plus screen, and then is it two 4K?
Two 4K.
Two 4K 60s,
Yep.
or two 4K 60, or shoot, what was it?
Full HD at 120 I believe is what it
Yeah,
was.
and there was something in there with a quad H, or yeah, it was
Maybe
a
it's
2K.
quad H, yeah.
I don't remember, but at least 2 additional 4K displays. So
Yeah.
don't tell me that chip doesn't have the power to do it. And I'm not banging on the MediaTek Companion chip, but the M1 is more powerful than that chip. Guarantee it across the board.
Yeah.
Better cores, better GPU. So what the world? Like, and it's a Pro device. You're going to put your Pro moniker on
Pro
something
man.
that has no ports, extends to one device, one external display.
What's its starting price?
1,200.
I was going to say at least 11, if not 12.
It's for education, so 1,300.
Yeah.
Yeah, there
Perfect.
you go.
Yeah. I mean, definitely, cheaper than the generation of, Pro devices that we purchased, but generation of Pro devices that we purchased have SD card slot, HDMI,
The high-end M1
best they have right now, even though 2 should be better than even any of the M1.
Yeah, that's not even to talk about how confusing this part is going to be for consumers, just because of the way they've chosen to name these chips. Like, you can talk about, like, Intel has the dumbest naming of all. Like, they don't make any sense. But you're never going to get a Core i5-3 that's slower than a Core i5-2. Like, it's just a Core i5 and it's a certain generation, and that's it, and you move on. Super weird. It would be like Google coming out with a couple versions of a Tensor chip, and then Tensor 2 comes out in the Pixel 7, but it's not actually faster than the Tensor that was in this new Chromebook or whatever. Whatever. Like, it gets super weird because they chose to go with M1. Now they're doing M2.
Yeah.
It's going to be very hard for consumers to be like, oh, wait, so the M2, that's the newest one, right? It's got the highest number. That's what they've done with iPhones. They stuck with iPhones this way. It's what they've done with their A14, A13, A12, A11 chips. The bigger the number, the better the processor. It's very simple, and I've always applauded them for this. And now because they wanted to go make the Pro and the what are they again?
Pro Max
and Ultra M1 chips. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's really convoluted, and it's going to get worse because later this year, I'm sure they will do M2 Pro, M2 Max, and M2 Ultra and something else. Good luck.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about it a little bit. I mean, I think right after the show, like, when people start making processors, this just happens. Apparently, you just get excited. You just start throwing all kinds of processors out and just seeing what sticks, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I guess so. Like, if we're thinking of Intel, there might be like an 11th gen Intel, i7 or whatever that's obviously faster than a 12th gen entry level. Is that
so
a way of,
like, you said maybe an 11th gen i7 would be faster than a Core i3 or Pentium 12th gen. Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, like, we always just rag on Intel for their naming and the way that they put out processors and how convoluted and ridiculous it is. It's just something Apple's never been accustomed to doing.
The
bigger numbers better, and it's simple because that's where Apple aims. They aim to make things, take cool tech and make it very easy for people to understand, so that you walk in, you buy the thing you need, you walk out. Like, that's their whole shtick. And I feel like they're just undoing that with these processors.
So many, when we even just processors aside, when we just start thinking about the offerings right now from the laptop standpoint.
Oh, yeah.
Someone going into the Apple store who wants to buy
like, how do you discern?
A MacBook, how do you, I'd be curious to, like, go into the Apple store and see how they, like, try to guide you, to see what you want.
Oh, they're going to sell you on the most expensive thing they can.
Yeah.
And that's also their shtick. So.
Yeah. So it's like
cheap. People don't walk in there expecting to get some grand deal.
Yeah, exactly.
And now what's the Air cost? What's its starting price? At least $1,000, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, I think so. Something like that.
So used to where the MacBook Air was this quote unquote affordable.
It was at one point $700 or $799, $800.
It was like $800 or something.
Because I remember we bought one for
$1,200
back in the day.
It starts at $12.
The M2 MacBook Air.
And so again, why would you buy that or buy the Pro with the M2 and not the MacBook Air? Why?
Because Pro.
Because
the Air has the same ports, right? Like,
Air's
it only has two.
Air's got the notch, baby.
It has the notch. Air also has the MagSafe charging.
Right. Which is
not a Pro feature, by the way. Clearly.
Oh no, it's absolutely a pro.
Pro.
feature.
Nope, not
They just
pro.
don't understand.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
it's a little.
I don't understand.
Yeah, it's strange.